So this is where we left off last recording. We were at the tutorial 101 folder. We made sure we were there. Our current folder is empty. We don't have any other M files. Our command window is empty. Our workspace is empty. So if it isn't, just make sure to say clear all and then do CLC, and this should clear everything in your workspace and in your command window. So this tutorial is just going to be about arithmetic operations with scalars. So first of all, you can use Matlab as a giant calculator. You can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, scalar multiplication. You can do scalar division. You can do exponentiation with the caret sign. You can do an exponential. So this is something that's a little different, but exponentials are made with like in Excel with exp. So instead of saying e to the power, you say exp and then parenthesis and then, for example, 10. So this would mean 10 to the, it would be e to the power exponent 10. Now something important that you must notice right now what has happened, if I type a function that is predetermined by Matlab, for example, exp, it will show up a little bit of help. So basically what this is telling you is that the exponential function that is saved in Matlab requires of an input. These are we're going to call inputs, which is whatever you have to feed the function for it to work. So for example, in this case, when you have an exponential, you want an exponential to a certain power. So we're going to say 3. And then that's going to give us our answer. Same thing when we do logarithmic. So your normal log is going to be natural logarithmic. And then your log 10 is going to be log 10 of a certain number, say 50. And then your natural logarithm, so your ln, is going to be log. So this is kind of confusing, and sometimes students make mistakes with this. But remember that like log 10 is explicitly log 10, which is right here. And then your natural logarithm, which is ln, is normal log. So this is confusing, just keep in mind. You can also do absolute values. So you can do, for example, absolute value of -5, and you should output 5. And you can do factorials. So if you remember what a factorial is, for example, if you have factorial 5, that is usually written in normal textbooks by 5 and then an exclamation mark. So what a factorial is, for those of you who don't know, is factorial 5 would be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. That's factorial 5. But Matlab also has a built-in function for it, and it's called factorial, no surprise. And then you can do factorial 5. Again, you see here that when I typed factorial, it automatically recognized it as a built-in function, and then it told me, okay, you need a number. You can just write factorial. You have to write factorial of a number, and then it gives you 120, same as what I got when I did it manually. You also have trigonometric math functions. So right now we're just using Matlab as a calculator. So all your trig functions are the same. So you can have the sign of, for example, pi. So pi is a built-in Matlab like variable. So you can actually write pi, pi. So you can say sign parenthesis pi close parenthesis, and that should give us the sign of pi. In this case, we see is 1 times 2 e to a -16, and you will think like, okay, no, I know the sign of pi is equal to 0. And this is sometimes what happens in computational techniques, and is you start accumulating error. In this case, you know that 1.2246 to the -6 times 10 to a -16 is for all purposes just 0. So don't get confused. It's fine. Now you can also, if you want to give it in, this is when sign without anything else is in radians. Now if you want to do things in degrees, you just have to write SIND for degrees, and then you can do, in this case, 180 degrees. And then it gives you 0. Then you'll ask me like, why is this different? And it's because 180 is a finite number, but pi has an infinite number of decimal points, and this is since MATLAB cannot have all the infinite number of decimal points, it has like a built-in error to it. However, if you do things in degrees, then you have a particular number, like 180. Then you're gonna get a very precise answer. Same thing, you have cosine. Let's do cosine D because it's just a little easier, or it's more relatable. You have cosine. Same thing, you have tangent. Cotangent, and things like this. Now, let me see what other functions we should need. I think for now these are all the arithmetic functions we need right now. Yeah, I think this is it for now. So right now we just learned how to use the command window and MATLAB basically as a calculator. We learned that we have our normal arithmetic functions. We also have exponential and logarithms, and we have to be a little careful with the log 10 or exponent. You may tend to do e and then do the caret sign. That's not correct. There you have to do exp like in Excel. We also learned there's absolute values. There's also factorials. As you probably know by now, there are hundreds of built-in MATLAB functions. What I advise you to do is to go online and then find a list of all the built-in functions, because you may just not remember what a particular function is. So just have those in hand, and then remember all same cosine and sines you can do, and if you add a d at the end, then you can do it in degrees. Now we want to get rid of all of these that we just did, then we can just do CLC. And then that just gets rid of everything. We see that we still have our ants in workspace because we just deleted the command window. In order to delete our workspace, we do clear all. And then that would be it for these arithmetic MATLAB built-in functions screencast. I'll see you in the next